Good morning, children. Today in mathematics, we are going to start with the topic tax, and the exercise that we are going to begin with is exercise 4C. The rest of the two exercises are not there as a part of your syllabus. So let us start with it. Now, if you see on the screen, we are going to talk about cost price and selling price because it is going to be included as a part of your exercise. You should be knowing about these two things, that what is a cost price and what is a selling price. The person you see on the screen is a seller, a person who is going to sell out the things. Then we have another person who is actually a buyer, the one who is going to purchase it. So how is this deal going to happen? One person is going to give money and the other person is going to take money. The buyer is going to give the money for the product he is purchasing, and the seller is going to take the money for the same. So, the one who gives money, for him it is a cost price, and the one who takes money, for him it is the selling price. Now let's see this person. In this case, the money that is given for a product is the cost price, like we have seen in the previous slide. And the money that is taken for a product is the selling price. For the same person, if the person is selling a product, he is going to take a money in return of it. So that will be the selling price. And if he is going to purchase a product, then he has to give money for the same. So giving the money is going to become the cost price. Now if you see on the screen, we have a tag with rupees 12.99 written over it. One more thing which you need to see here is inclusive of taxes. Tax is the chapter that we are going through. Now this is a tag and it has a price printed on it, listed on it. So this price is actually called the mark price and we represent it as MP. Now you must have seen these offers in this festive season. Online also, like Amazon, Flipkart, they all are coming up with sale. So if you go to a particular marketplace also, you will find these banners saying this percent off, up to 60% off. For example, in this image you can see, what is it? It is the discount percent. Discount is given on the mark price, the price which is printed on the product. Okay, now there is a formula to calculate the actual price to be paid. That means the selling price when the discount is given. It is calculated as the mark price minus the discount calculated on the mark price. That means MP minus D percent of MP. We are going to use this. Okay. Now in this screen, on this slide, if you see, we have a company named Samsung, and you know what all products it manufactures. We have all the electronic items being manufactured by this company Samsung. Now we have a government, like in India we have our Indian government, in the other countries we have various governments. So the government puts on tax on the things which are manufactured. Now this tax is going to go into the economy of the country. It is going to help in the economy of the country. So the tax is going to be put on the product which is going to be manufactured. Now when Samsung has created a product, it has given some initial price to it. Now whatever cost was there for making it, and the company has also included its own profit, so that particular price becomes the initial price, but the government is going to put the tax over it, so something will be added to the initial price. Now this initial price plus the tax calculated by the government is going to be given to the shopkeepers, the retailers, the wholesalers, who are going to take these products and they are going to sell it to the customers. So they are giving more price. Now this final price which is going to be given by the customer will be including the initial price plus the tax which is levied by the government, and finally the customer pays for it and gets the product. This is how it works. That means there is some initial price on which the tax is added, and then the final price is what the customer is going to pay. Now let us talk about these formula that we are going to use in the given exercise. Final price, which includes the tax, remember, is actually the initial price plus the tax. Where if we talk about tax, that is in rupees, is calculated by tax percent of the initial price. Tax percent of the initial price means tax upon 100 into initial price. So we are going to use these formulae in the exercise. So let's start with the exercise. Exercise 4C, question number 1, all the parts are same. So we are going to do the last part of this question in the fair notebook. The rest of the parts are very similar, like I said, so you can attempt them in a rough notebook. So in this particular part, in this particular question, we need to find the final price. The initial price is given to us and the tax percent is given to us. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the formula to calculate tax in rupees first. So we are going to use the formula tax upon 100 into initial price. Once we substitute the values, the value for tax in rupees is calculated. Now calculating the final price using the formula initial price plus tax. Tax we have already calculated in rupees. So we are going to add the given initial price with the tax calculated and we get the final answer. So this is how you have to do all the parts of this question number 1. Next question is question number 2. Again, it contains a number of parts in it and all the parts are similar. So let us do one of the parts, that is fourth part, and the rest of the parts can be attempted in the rough notebook. This is going to be done in the fair notebook. Here the tax percent is given, the final price is given, and we have to find the initial price. So what I did in this question is I have assumed the initial price to be P. The formula used here is we are going to calculate the tax in rupees because it is given in percentage. Now the tax which I am going to get will be in terms of P. So it will be 5P upon 100 after substituting the values. Now the formula to calculate the final price is equal to initial price plus tax. We are going to substitute all these values in here. So we are going to get an equation in terms of P. So once we solve it, the value of P will be found and that is going to become our answer. I hope you are able to understand it. Moving on to the next question. The next question which I have taken is question number 4, wherein the final price is given, the initial price is given and the tax percent has to be calculated. So first of all, we are going to calculate the tax by using the formula final price is equal to initial price plus tax. Substituting the values in here, we are going to find the value of tax in terms of rupees. Now to calculate the tax percent, the formula is tax percent is equal to tax upon initial price into 100. This formula I have got from the formula of tax only. Now if I substitute the values in here, the tax percent will be calculated. This is how this question has to be done. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 5, where the tax percent is given, the final price is given and the initial price has to be calculated. Now the way the question has been given, the statement of the question may confuse you. They are asking for the rate of gold per 10 gram. Actually they are not talking about the percentage, they are asking about the initial price of gold. The mass of the gold, the weight of the gold is similar, so you don't have to worry about 10 grams, it remains the same. So what we have to do, we have to simply find the initial price. So it becomes very similar to question number 2. What we have to do, we have to find the tax in rupees. I have assumed the initial price to be P, so it will come in terms of P. Then we are going to use the formula final price is equal to initial price plus tax. Substituting the values, the value of P will be calculated from the equation and that will become our final answer. I hope you are able to understand. The next question I have picked is the last question of the exercise. Remember question number 6 and 7 are very similar. So I have taken question number 7. Here we have to find the final price. The marked price is given, the discount is given. I hope you remember that slide in which I have talked about the printed price and the sale going on, where the percentage off is given, the offer is going on. So the marked price is given, the discount percent is given. They are saying that the tax is going to be applied on the selling price. So first of all, we are going to find the selling price. Remember that formula where selling price is equal to marked price minus discount percent of marked price. That formula we are going to use, and yes, the tax percent is given. So I'm going to start with this formula, that is selling price is equal to marked price minus discount given on the marked price. So substituting the values, marked price is 43,000, discount percent is 20. So after I calculated, the value comes for the selling price. Now the tax in rupees will be calculated. This selling price becomes my initial price according to the question. So I'm going to use the formula of tax, which is going to give me the value in rupees for the tax. Remember, this tax has been applied on the selling price, which became our initial price. Now the formula for final price is initial price plus tax, substitute the values, and you will get the answer which is required in this particular question. So this is how you have to do this particular exercise. I hope it is understandable. See to it that you complete all these discussed questions in the fair notebook, and the remaining questions, like I said, are very similar. So you need to attempt all those remaining questions in some rough notebook. So what is the assignment for the week? The assignment is in front of you. You have to do the questions in the fair notebook, whatever question I have explained in this particular presentation. The rest of the questions are to be done in some rough notebook, and I have already provided you the instructions. They are very similar. You need to keep your work completed class. And yes, if you have any query, you can write the comment under the post which I am going to make in the Google Classroom for this particular assignment. So with this, we are towards the end of this presentation. Take care, students. Stay safe. Thank you so much.